Hopefully we're live and welcome to Cash Monday Night Football Talk again, which we've got to come up with a better name. I thought Cash Monday Night Talk on a Tuesday, I thought it would be hilarious. We've got a number of topics I want to cover today. Might add Manchester United into there as well, because that's one of the teams that I really want to talk about, because Ruben Amorim is really living on borrowed time, in my opinion, from the sort of a fan point of view, not necessarily from the club point of view. I think they'll keep him on for quite a while, but I do believe that it's almost over for him in the fact that he's got a real problem with what he's doing and where he's going with the club. That's one thing I want to talk about. Hello, buddy. How are you? Hi, mate. But I think it's very important that we do talk about this Manchester United situation. I also want to talk about Manchester City and Pep, what's really going on there, because that's something that people sort of gloss over a little bit, and they think City will fall apart when Pep leaves, which is just completely and utterly not true. And I want to cover that as well and tell you why I know that's not true, because that's also important. A couple other little football topics I might sort of discuss as well, and anything obviously that my chat gives me to talk about, as always, because we always listen to the chat, because they normally come up with some great things for us to talk about. Other than that, let me just put in a couple of things, and we're ready to go with our Ruben Amorim topic. Wait, what? That is the thing. Okay. We are ready. Let's get crack-a-lacking. So there's a couple of problems with there's massive problems at Manchester United, as everyone's aware. And when you're trying to build a team, the most important thing you have to do is win football games. It doesn't matter what nonsense you're talking about, strategies, formations, systems, players, and all this other stuff. The only way you get confidence and you build confidence, in people around you, is you win football games. That's it. Everything else is utter nonsense. If you're not winning football games, no one is paying any attention to anything that you're saying ever. It's just the way it goes. What do you mean no one's paying attention to what you say? Well, that includes your players, the board, everyone around you. Because what happens is, if the more you're losing, the more confidence you lose. Right, so why is that important? If you've got a constant message that my system is the way, this is the future, this is what we're building, but you've lost. Well, I think Ruben Amorim's lost. I think he's only won 8 games out of 31 in his time at Manchester United. No one believes you. It doesn't matter if your system is the right way. It doesn't matter what's coming up. It doesn't matter what's down the path. It matters what's just happened and what's going to happen on the weekend. They're going to play Chelsea on the weekend, and Manchester United are going to lose 4-0. So what will happen is there's more and more confidence being lost. When they were under Ollie and other managers, every now and again, Man United would just pull out a worldy game and win 2 or 3 on the bounce. And they'd get some confidence and they'd go again, and then it would collapse and they'd lose 2 or 3, and then they'd win 2 or 3. They haven't won 2 on the bounce in, I don't know how long now for Manchester United. And that is a huge issue. So when we're talking from a coaching standpoint, and we're talking from a building standpoint, and you're trying to create success, you have to have confidence and trust from the people behind you. And I'm not talking about the board members and because they genuinely don't care. As long as the stand's full, and at this level, as long as the stand's full and the headlines are not too bad, they're okay. So the trust is all from the dressing room and the players. So he's ousted out a lot of players from Manchester United, like Garnacho, Anthony, Sancho, Rashford. They've all gone. They're all problem players. 16 losses, and he still believes, 16 losses. I mean, that's huge. So when you've ousted out some of these players that United have, right, first off, let's stop this nonsense about the system, because as I always said, first off, it is the system. And remember, I'm not just talking about the system or whatever he's talking about, because you've got a huge problem where people are talking about the system and they don't know what they're talking about. And what they end up doing is they conflate 2 or 3 things all at the same time. So the system can be one of multitude things. It can be the fact that you've got his formation is wrong. Formation is not system. Okay, his shape is wrong. Shape is not system. His player selection is wrong. Player selection is not system. So the problem is he's got all of these issues, and they're all getting conflated into one little problem. But if we're talking about his three centre backs, okay, first off, when he's really playing a 3-4. He's really doing that. Okay. The problem is these players must be perfect. These players must be perfect. Your base of your whole structure must be perfect. And none of these players, not only do they not know what they're doing, they're not perfect. You cannot have weak players. Okay, so there's a better way of explaining it. Say the Premier League is a standard of 5 to 6. Okay, and all of your players are about a 4 and a 5 if they're playing in their preferred role. Well, that's the means that you're going to get a 4 or a 5 result every weekend out of 10 playing in their preferred role because they're not very good. However, when you change that and you put them in systems and roles and responsibilities that they're not very good at, they might be playing at a 2 or a 3 level. You need them at a 7 to win the football game. So because you can't have them playing in this system, because if you do, they're all going to be at a 2 or a 3, you have to change what you're doing. Hey, Joey, how are you, buddy? Oh, me typing before I'm finishing saying. So you can't just go and go, right, I'm going to do this because this is the way I want to play. So if you put it another way, which no one really talks about, right? So if we think every single player of Amram's system is a triangle, right? This is the important ones. This is the key. We're not worried about the ones up front because they're just doing what they're doing, right? Who cares? This is the important area. So we're looking, we need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 triangles. Right, 7 players that play as a triangle, and we've got a total of a square, a circle, another square, another circle, another square, and none of these shapes fit into any of these holes. You go, I can't play a system of triangles. I've got to change ever slightly. Oh mate, I can barely. Well, I can't walk. I'll come on to that because I've got stories to tell later. I will be dropping later on my Tiger Woods story later on in the stream today. That's going to be interesting. Wait till we get to that. That's going to be juicy. So if you think that you've got a team of triangles and that's what you want, but you've only got squares and circles, what you have to do is eradicate the system and the idea that you've got. Start playing a system that's got a bunch of squares in it and a couple of circles, and slowly change your squares and your circles to triangle players, and slowly change your system to triangle players, and overall, over time, change your system to what you want. You cannot come in and go, right, this is what I'm going to do, hell or high water, and off we go. That is not a football coach. That's a child coaching an under-12s team. And you would get fired if you're at my club in Yankee Land doing that, or anywhere that I've coached football, anywhere in the world, they would fire you. Because they go, these are the tools you've got. Change your system to these tools. And as you go, developing those players to the system, create the system that you want over time. Not come in and say, this is the way it is, just like Pochettino did. All of a sudden you lose, and now you lost all the confidence of all the players and everybody throughout the entire football club. I think Ferdinand is to start him. The problem with Fernandez is he has to play him, right? And I can't stand this stuff like, oh, he's a number 10 and he's playing in a number 8. Is he a midfielder? So he knows what to do, right? He knows how to play football. He's a midfielder. He's a senior player in the squad. He could play as a defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder, or anything in between because he's a senior player. Senior players have been around and you know that they can do whatever. Now, here's the problem with Fernandez is week in, week out, you don't necessarily want him out of the way. Hope Ange doesn't... Oh, dude, I'm so upset with him taking over Forest. It's just could destroy the football club. It really could. Because the owner's stubborn, Ange is stubborn, and when the results don't come, it could destroy Forest. Um, he has to want, yeah, of course he has to want to track back. But you see, that's what I'm talking about again with the first goal, as you saw my breakdown of that I did today of Manchester United and Man City. That wasn't the fault. Was it? Yes. Yeah. It was the fault that Fernandes didn't track back, but that wasn't the underlining fault. The underlining fault was you had 7 players all chasing the ball because they didn't know how to stand, where to stand, who to cover, where to cover, or where to go. Because they're playing in a system that's alien to them. They're in a shape that they don't understand. And the formation is causing them all sorts of problems. So it's not just the system, the shape that they're set up in, and the formation that they're playing. They don't know who to cover, where to cover, or what to do. And it's not as easy as you think. It's not as easy as going, oh, well, they should know. They don't. They don't know. I don't think Martin will have much patience with Ange. See, I think he will have patience with Ange. I think he will. That's the problem. I hope he doesn't. Marinakis better not have patience with Ange. Yeah. Because after like the highs that they hit with Nuno and the great goodwill that he brought to Forest, I think he thinks he's just going to get the same sort of reaction from Ange. Yeah, he better not mess around. Like, I tell you what, I think he's rubbish, and I think he's overcooked as a coach. I think he's done and washed up. But I tell you what, when they sack Ange, they need to bring Jose Mourinho in. That's what they need. You up for joining us? Yeah, I'll join the live stream anytime you want, boys. Yeah, I don't mind. Anytime you need me to join another channel, help out somebody. That's one of the big things I sort of don't give on enough on this channel, and why I talk about all my footballing knowledge. Like, I want to help people. That's the whole point of being a football coach, is helping people. The problem is you're so busy caught into the bog of criticising, because you're not really criticising, you're analysing, and you're trying to explain to people what they're doing wrong so you can fix it and get it right. If they can't see they're doing it wrong, you can't make them do it right. You can't get someone to change their spot. If they're going, oh no, I'm doing exactly the right thing, you're not. You have to explain it, tell them why, and get them to do the right thing. So I'm all about helping people. If you want to come on a live stream, I'm all about it. Yeah, there's so many problems at Manchester United, John, but it's not that hard. Just win your next game. It sounds like just go win your next game. Don't care what you're doing. Go win your next game. That's what you need to do. You've got players that can all understand a 4-3-3. They can all play a 4-3-3. You play a 4-3-3. And then guess what you do the last 25 minutes of each half? You play your little nonsense and you do what you're doing, but you're winning 2-0, so you don't care. That's what you do. We're the biggest Forest fan channel in YouTube. Oh, no, you're not. Cash is the biggest fan channel in YouTube of all thingies. All things ever. But I'd love to come on the channel. I'd love to. Yeah. Who's that golden Steining guy who does United Stand? He's completely lying. Just because he's got 2.9 million subscribers, Cash is still the biggest fan channel in all of YouTube. He's lying, all right? Don't believe what he's saying. That number, I'm telling you, he paintbrushes it on everyone's computer. It's real. No, it's real. He paintbrushes it on. When you click on his channel, it shows all those subscribers. They're not real. He's hacked your computer and he's made a little banner there and everyone's got it. There's a virus going around. It's one of these ads you lot have clicked. I'm telling you. We've all got the same virus. It's not real. It's not real. 100%. But the fundamental problem with United is one of the fundamental problems in understanding how to build and develop football teams. There isn't courses for it. Oh, actually, years ago, I've got a book somewhere from the FA, and they've got this whole thing about developing football clubs and all of this. And I can remember reading it, and I was just going, tell this guy's never coached. Like, look at this, but he's never coached football. He doesn't have a bloody clue. I still got it. I don't throw books away. But it is this understanding and this transition of with the players you have playing a system that they're comfortable in until you can do what you want with them. That's why it always takes 3 years for a coach to impress his sort of style and play and the way he runs his football team onto a football team. Because you have to go through all of those things. You have to go through all of those transitions of slowly playing the old manager's system with his old players, making it a little bit better as you progress into your system and getting rid of those players that you don't want, adding it so you can play the way you want to play. Coming in day one and just going, this is how it is and this is what it's going to be. There's very few clubs or teams in the world that you can actually do that. The Manchester United fans that said they won't cut his hair until United win 5 games in a row. Oh my goodness, he's never going to cut his hair. Honest truth, if they stick with Ruben Amorim until Christmas, United will go down. You heard it. You heard it here. I'm telling you, Manchester United will get relegated if they stick with Ruben Amorim up until Christmas. It will happen. Because you only get confidence when you're winning football games. And if you're not winning football games, you've got no confidence. If United go 1-0 up or 2-0 up, the other team still thinks they're going to score 5 on United. Like, look at the last time United scored a goal from open play. Not from a penalty open play. Like, they've created this is the style of play, and they've created and scored that goal. And they've done it again. Okay, we're talking about Forest here. Let's negate and go back to Forest last season. How many times did Forest score a goal from their style of play? They were sitting back and they hit you on the counter-attack and they battered you. Well, loads. Yeah, they did that a lot. So if you knew that if you lost the ball, Forest are going to go after you and score on you. If you lose the ball to United, how are they going to go and attack on you? Yeah. Well, I honestly think United will go down if Ruben Amorim stays there. I do. Because, sorry, John, I was just looking at your comment. The major issue is you can't see a way that they're going to score goals. And if you can't see a way, right, there's also a little problem going on at Liverpool as well. I wanted to cover it a little bit more in detail, and I haven't really given it much thought, but while we're here, I will. There's a problem in Liverpool that they're not playing well, but they're still winning. So all of the bad play and all of the lack of whatever Liverpool are doing just gets pushed away because they've got 3 points. So no one cares. Because they'll go, oh, they'll fix it. They'll get it right. They've got 3 points. They'll get it right. If Manchester United were playing terrible but got 3 points, then we'll go, no, Ruben Amorim will fix it. No, it'll come better. We'll play better, but we got 3 points. We're okay. And that's the difference in winning. And then all the players will start backing Ruben Amorim because he's winning football games. When you're losing football games, it's massive. I've coached teams where we've been undefeated for a whole season. Absolutely. My coaching sessions were some of the worst coaching sessions I phoned it in halfway through the year. I can tell you now, I can remember it. We just beat everyone. We just wouldn't lose games. If I'd actually put more effort in, that team would have been absolutely phenomenal, but didn't. Because we just won. We knew we were going to beat you. Why? Because there was a rolling attitude that happened, and no matter what happened, we knew we were going to beat you. It didn't make any difference what you did. We were just still going to beat you. I've played on teams that have been undefeated. I've got funny stories about that team, by the way. And it's the same thing. We just knew we were going to beat you. Man United got the opposite effect. They just know they're going to lose. We're fine, but the last 7 or 8 games that Nuno didn't have the players to switch things up. 100% he didn't have the players to switch things up. But that's the difference, okay? You've done so well and you've built a platform. In the last 7 or 8 games, now you need new players to refresh your squad and bring things up. Great. We'll buy you those new players. We'll get you some new help. And we'll give you an extra string to your bow. Because we know string 1 of your bow works really well. But your string 2 and 3, you don't have them. But we've finally got plan A working brilliantly. That's brilliant. Plan A works brilliant. So let's try to get a plan B and a C. So get you some extra help in there to do that. And then we can change things up and maybe start playing at plan C, moving from plan A to plan B to plan C. And that's how we're going to play football. If you try to play football at plan C and you don't have that solid foundation of plan A still in place, you're going to be in Manchester United land and you're going to be in all sorts of trouble. Not only have they lost confidence, but they're giving teams confidence 100%. Every team that plays United has got confidence. United is very well attacking. Well, let me ask you, does Sunderland fear Manchester United this year? Manchester United are going to lose to Chelsea, then they're going to go, I think they play Sunderland at home. Sunderland will beat United. So if they do, let's just say there's 3 options. United beat them. Who cares? It's Sunderland. United draw. Oh my God, that's massive. United lose. It's there's no win-win there for United, because if you beat Sunderland, it's Sunderland. You're supposed to beat them. You're Man United. If you lose to Sunderland, you're under huge pressure, and that's because you haven't won any games previous. If you'd won 4 or 5 games previous and you lose to Sunderland, our winning run had to come to an end. We've played really well, even though they hadn't played well, like Liverpool's not playing well, but they're getting results. So all of that goes under the carpet. It's going to be huge. The Sunderland game is going to mark the nail on the deathbed for Ruben Amorim if he loses it. If he loses that, yeah, there won't be anything left for him to hide behind. Oh yeah, by the way, if you want me to come onto that Forest fan channel, find a way of messaging me on Twitter, or I don't check Twitter, or just send me a comment or something so I can chat to you guys. I'm all about that. Sunderland won't be there to make up the numbers. Oh yeah. See, like last year, Forest, I was really behind them. This year, I'm kind of really behind Forest because losing Nuno to me, and Forest not making Champions League to me really annoyed me. I mean, I thought that I had them. I thought they were going to do it. I really did. But you know, when you were saying the last 7 or 8 games, they weren't up to the mustard. It wasn't just the system. Cheers, buddy. It wasn't just the system. It was the players get tired near the end of the season. To stay strong in one formation, doing one thing, and knowing you don't have the player quality to go toe-to-toe with a single team, so you have to sit back and do everything you need to do just right for the whole season, takes a toll on people. It really does. And if you can't get those replacements in and out and swap them about, do what you want for half an hour a game every now and again, and you need all your best players on the field all of the time, by the end of the season, it takes the wear on them. And I have a feeling that's what ended up happening with Forest. Not only just not having a plan B, the plan B is also that the plan A is exhausting, and we're all tired from plan A, and we can't keep it up anymore. So it's there's a little bit more to it there than I think that's going on for Forest. And as well, players are players. They don't care about what Nuno's saying or the owner's saying. They still want to make Champions League. They're still trying their hardest. They're still doing their thing. They were at Forest. But at United, it's a different level altogether. Oh, so here's another thing. I think Sunderland will beat Newcastle this year. I think that's going to be a huge upset for Newcastle. I think Sunderland are going to batter them, 1-0, like a huge battering 1-0. But I think the reason why is there's this mindset that people don't really sort of understand in football. And they'll think it's arrogant. They're going to think it's cocky. They're going to think I'm wrong, but I'm not going to be wrong. Newcastle have gone through hell with Alexander Isak and are paying attention to the Champions League, and they want to get back up the league, and they want to be in that Champions League for next season, and they've got 10 Champions League games coming up. Do you know what they're not paying attention to? Sunderland have just come up from the Championship. Do you know what Sunderland, every one of their fans, has been waiting for to get back up in the Premier League and talked about all summer? Battering Newcastle. That's what they've all talked about. Guess what every single player at Sunderland has heard from every single fan and fan base for the last year? When we get Newcastle, beat Newcastle, beat Newcastle. Newcastle are caught up in Champions League and Isak leaving and all this stuff. They've got no idea that Sunderland is coming for their team as hard as they're going to come on those match days. Those players are completely and utterly oblivious. They haven't played in any of these derby games against Sunderland before, even though the Sunderland players haven't either. That's been their goal. Get to the Premier League. When you get there, you can play Newcastle's and the world, and you can have it. And that's coming. That is coming. Why have United stopped passing to their strikers? Did you see the video I did? Have a look at that. All right, there's a freeze frame that I do where you can see before United lose the ball and Haaland goes down and scores the last goal. Have a look at how they're set out. They don't pass the ball to their strikers because they've got no options. Again, when you've got players that don't play wide, that are playing wide, there's no real width there, so you can't really get in behind teams. It's all a bit of, I don't know, there's so many issues with their shape. And the other problem you've got, you need movement from your players. Okay, so if you've got your United little strikery doos, this player here is pivotal, who's creating the link-up play from these two defenders. If he's not moving and being dynamic with some wide players that he can ping the ball out to and then keep the little triangle moving, okay, if he can't receive the ball because he's got 2 players in front of him and 1 player behind him because there's 3 in midfield and they're basically camped on him, you can't ping the ball around. You can't create width. You can't do anything. Ruben Amorim has got numbers up in the wrong areas. And where it, like, if you watch that first goal United scored, you can see the numbers are up and down the line. So you've got 1, 2 players over here. You've got a Man City player and a Man City player here. He's got a number, so he's got 3 on the line over here. The throw in is taken, but the numbers are on the line. The numbers aren't in the middle, and they walk straight through the middle of the team. Everything's kind of backwards. I'm sure something just fell off a shelf. Oh, I'm hitting the button. So it's huge about the way that United is set up, so they can't get the ball into the front players properly, and they can't really create any opportunities for them. Who was it I was watching the other day? I can't remember who I was watching, and I honestly think if United want to do anything, they just need to bang the ball in the box. Forget all this fancy football. Just put it out wide, smash it in the box, and I think they'll score 5 goals a game. The amount of Premier League teams that can't defend crosses is unbelievable because everyone's so used to passing the ball on the ground, getting into the half space, from the half space, looking for the cutback and all that rubbish. So knock the ball in the box. They won't defend it. I'm going to think. It was one of the championship teams that came up that kept doing it. Because they couldn't even pass it to this. Of course, they can't do. Okay, so the simple passing isn't exactly what you think it is. If you do not have a shape, you cannot pass the ball. So when people are worried about how to pass the ball, if you are not in the proper shape, you cannot pass the ball. So the shape becomes before passing the ball. Right, that's what dictates the movement of the ball, because all your passing options are open if the shape is correct. Everyone's moving in the right option, so you've got always 2 to 3 options. If that isn't fundamentally correct, you can't pass the ball. So when the ball comes into you, you're supposed to have 2 options. You've got 0, you freeze. Now what do? You've lost the ball because the game is that quick. Man United Premier League have 11 wins since August and only 5... Man United is struggling. I do want, this is one thing that I think is really weird as well, is half of me thinks that they're setting up Ruben Amorim for failures, because I would have bought Donnarumma. I would have doubled whatever Man City are paying him. I would have gone, no, we want Donnarumma. We want him at Man United. That you put Donnarumma in goal and you help your back 5 or 3 or whatever you're playing. And they didn't even care. August 24th. Is that the last Manchester United win? They're only on 1 point at the moment. I don't think that that's not hitting all the United fans. As much as they claim that they think it's okay to be where they are in the league, they're not. They're absolutely not. So let's just talk a little bit about... Because we'll probably come back to United in a second. But I want to talk a little bit about Manchester City. So... let's just be honest. Let's just talk it as it's talked. So, those of you that know, one of the clubs that I've worked for is Manchester. Well, worked around. Can't say for. That'd be different. I've worked around is Manchester City. 11 wins since August 2024. Oh my goodness! Since August 2024, that's insane. Arteta is, yeah. Arteta's a different skill. But here's the thing as well. The more you start understanding football and you understand what these managers are doing, the more you understand they cannot coach. They cannot manage. They can't. Because real managers and real coaches would be winning with some of these teams. The trick is, when was the last time you saw Arsenal that was supposed to lose a game because they're playing PSG and they win? That's a good coach. There you go. When was the last time you saw, a team that's supposed to lose and they win? Oh yeah, that was Nottingham Forest. I followed them pretty much most of last season. That was brilliant. That's when you know you got a good coach. His player pace isn't as good as the other teams on paper. The other team is supposed to win, but his team wins because he's a better coach. If your team is better on paper, and you're losing the game, it's the coach because the team's better on paper, and it's not happening. Something's wrong. Players are motivated. Why are the players not motivated? Goes back to the coach. So let's talk about Manchester City. So let's say I was working in and around Manchester City. I'm very well versed in the Manchester City system. Unfortunately, you can give me a little bit of information, and because of my football knowledge, I can figure out everything what you're trying to do and where you're trying to do it. Manchester City had a system in place that was the Pep system, because it's not the Pep system, in place before Pep Guardiola got there. They were teaching a certain style through their academy, through all of their satellite clubs in the world, a certain way of playing, a certain style. This is how we want. That was there before Pep Guardiola, way before Pep Guardiola. So when people think Pep Guardiola, if he goes, Manchester City will fall apart, they won't, because the entire infrastructure and the system was built up to have a Pep Guardiola come in. If he goes, the entire system and infrastructure, as I say, to all their satellite clubs, to all their academies, to everything, has been there for 10 years, 15 years almost now. They knew what they were doing. Their system, you'd love him at Forest? Are you sure? Okay. So that whole system was already set up way before Pep came in. One of the first things I did when I was coaching, by the way, I keep saying I've been coaching for 20 years. I think it's bloody longer. My first UEFA C license was in 2001. Yeah. Don't look up your paperwork. Don't look up things. You finally figure out how old you are. But one of the interesting parts about all of that was when I was looking at, right, if you want to be a professional footballer at the age of 16, what is all the things that you need in your locker to step on the field to be able to compete as a professional football player? And how do you coach that through your academy system so you can structure your academy behind that? Okay. So it was one of the first sort of academic things I did in football back in 2001, 2003, in that sort of range. And then what you do is that's your base plan to run a whole academy. And if you look at what I put down on paper, it's pretty much identical to what Manchester City do, obviously years later. So from that, then you can start extrapolating what does and doesn't work on the training field, how to get training sessions more catered to types of players, how you can min-max those types of players. So not only are you teaching everyone in your academy this, but you're teaching the midfielders this and the defenders that. At the same time, you're min-maxing them all to be professionals at 16 to 18 years old. Man City, don't know, they might have they didn't copy my work, but they know exactly what they're doing. Cash is older than GTA San Andreas. Shh, Cash is old. Just because I'm good looking. Don't let these dazzling good looks fool you, young pups, you young spry pups. Yeah, you'll get to my age one day and you'll struggle to walk like I am. My ankle is so bad right now. I can't put any weight or pressure on my left foot. It's a football injury. I can't even remember snapping my left ankle. I remember ripping my hamstrings, doing my ACL, my MCL, breaking that leg thingy, like doing all my... Oh no, I did. I thought I broke both ankles at the same time. I'll have to look back. I think I had both ankles broken at the same time. Yeah, maybe. That might be why. Oh, it got me lower back broken once. That was fun. Yeah. I've done all sorts in football. Done all sorts. I used to be able to play a bit or two. Oh, actually, I want to address a comment I thought was hilarious. These people from Sunderland fan trolling because I said, oh no, I think it was a Crystal Palace fan actually, saying, oh, you're supposed to score from outside of the box. I'm like, yeah, you're a Premier League footballer. You got time and space outside of the box. You're supposed to score. Have you heard about this thing outside of the box? It's called a free kick. To stop them scoring the free kick outside of the box, what they do is they put up a wall and then they have a goalkeeper, because if he's got time and space on the ball, he'll score. No matter how good the goalkeeper is. Of course you're supposed to score from outside the box in the Premier League. To me, it's hilarious how lack of knowledge these people are, and they write these comments and they somehow think I'm going to be kind to them. It's like, you're on the wrong channel, mate. Like, if you say something dumb and you're trying to be cocky about it, I'm going to yell at you. It's hilarious. I've just had an ACL surgery. Oh, still in recovery. Oh, mate, I never had surgery. I had my ACL and MCL gone at the same time, and my kneecap got twisted. And if I had surgery, they reckon I'd been out for 6 to 9 months. And I said, if I didn't have surgery, I'd be out for 6 to 9 months because of the twist in the kneecap. And that's providing the surgery went well, because on the back of the knee, on the ACL, and then they ripped my calf muscle in half as well. It was a mess. I was a mess. Someone's stud basically went into my leg as the other player hit me on the other side, and it's almost like my leg was like caught in a meat grinder and ripped. Yeah. That was a tough one. That was my first sort of serious injury when they did both of those. But there's a lot more to that ACL, because I actually hurt it years before and never really realised how badly I damaged it, and I just kept playing on it anyway. So it was so you've got different phases of spraying on an ACL. You've got phase 1, 2, and 3, and mine was always on phase 1, where it was the muscle had already been ripped. So then, as soon as I got to the point where I was on a phase 3, it was all the ligament was barely hanging on, and that's where I could have the surgery to put it back on, and didn't. On a damage 21 years ago, really? Oh, yeah. It's funny how when you criticise a player, they'll say that you can't do that thing, but 100%. Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you right now, I was just recalling, I was having a cigarette earlier. I was thinking about what I'm going to talk about tonight. Because I try not to, I'm in two minds. I don't want to put topics down, and I kind of want to make it a free-flowing discussion. And I kind of want the guys in the chat to, talk, so we can just hang out and chat. But I was going I was playing this cup final, and my mate was in goal on the other side. And I was just trying to think, I was thinking about that comment that guy made. And I'm like, do you know how hard I can hit a football? Like, genuinely how hard I can hit a football. My mate was in goal, and in this final, we lost, by the way. I can't remember the final score. We either lost 5-2 or 3-1. I scored a worldie, though. I'll tell you that in a minute. And his hand got hit. All his fingers went back, and all his fingers got snapped, and he had to go to hospital. I can't remember if he was airlifted in or not. Had a lot of airlifted players in my day. I can't remember if he was airlifted in on that one. Progressively got worse over the years, forcing me to get a surgery. Yeah. See, that can happen. That really can happen. So if you've got the thing is with mine, I kept rehab because I was playing. I kept rehabbing it. What happens is that tear keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and slowly you probably start off with a phase 1 like I did. Suddenly you got to a phase 3 where it's hanging on a thread because it's slowly ripped away that muscle over the years. My rehab was weird. I had a doctor, she was hitting on me the whole time. It was so weird. No, I go through phases. The wife smokes. I quit smoking. Then I never smoked or drank ever, because I was always playing football or coaching. And when I was a coach, I couldn't be seen to eat KFC because that's bad for the players. And I've got to set a good standard. And then as soon as I've sort of backed away, it's like, girl, let's smoke. And it never even used to swear. I swear all the time now. It's hilarious. I know how hard it is to do a live stream on your own, which is our chat on FFC. Oh, yeah, it's the most interactive. I love it. Yeah, love to interact with the chat. Love to. Because chat's all it's about. I was trying to do these live watch-alongs with a Canadian buddy, and it's very difficult because there who was... Oh, God. He comes in and says hello to us a couple of times in the chat. He was always watching with us. Lazy was always with us. There's a couple that were always with us. But to be fair, everyone's watching the game. Unless you've got 1,000 or 2,000 people in the chat where the chat's slowly rolling, because unless you've got that sort of numbers, most people are watching the game, even on a watch-along. They might like hearing your voice and your commentary going on, but they're more interested in watching the game. You need a lot. Jamming the meniscus to the hamstring. Oh, right, to create an LCR, MCR. Oh, okay, that's how they repaired it. Okay. Yeah, I thought I did, because I tore my hamstring off the back of my left leg. Remember the game came out. I've told the story many a times. We're at the warm-up, okay? It's so funny. and the whole team's doing a warm up. Me and my mate Martin, I was a player, so was he. We never lost a game when we played centre midfield together, ever. Never happened. Never lost a game. And so we're playing on the sideline, knocking the ball backwards and forwards. And the guys in the stands and the fans are like, "Oi, why aren't you two warming up?" Martin turns around to him and goes, "We're the talent. We don't have to warm up." We come out for the first half. From the kickoff, the ball goes down the left-hand side. I go out like a cannon, beat my left winger and my striker and everyone on their team to the ball. Get there, leg goes, boom, I'm over like a rocket. Collapsed on the floor. The ref blows, stops the game. Everyone's going like, "What's he doing?" The ref tells me afterwards, because I couldn't tell you the ref's name, unfortunately. I really wish I did. He said he'd refereed me for years. He's seen me kicked. He's seen me snap legs and all sorts. He said he's never seen me go down that hard, that fast, and not get up. So he's immediately calling for the stretcher to get me off the field. Like, he was genuinely worried about me. That was a tough one. Funny enough, it's one of the only games my dad came to watch. Every time my dad came to watch, I got injured. I did a live, and I thought I was going to go. You just got to do it. Just got to do it. Just start talking to yourself. That's why, like, when you've got topics, it's easier to go across. The thing is, though, I've got a million stories. I could talk all day, and not even touch a tenth of what I've done in the world. Like, so I was telling you about that guy that broke his fingers, and it reminded me of that comment of the that clown going, "Oh, are you supposed to score from outside the penalty box?" Like, yeah. Do you actually realise how hard professional footballers can kick a football? I had one guy that I was a sports agent for. He could hit a ball so hard, like, genuinely, if you were in the wall, he's hit people in the head and they've had to go to hospital. Like, he's hit a ball that hard. They've concussed and they're out. And the concussion isn't from them hitting the ball, hitting them. It's from them getting hit, getting slightly knocked out, and then hitting the ground just straight onto the back of their head and getting completely knocked out. Like, the pace Premier League football players can hit a ball at, and the weight of that, and the way that ball goes, it's easy. It's not easy, but it's easier to score from outside that 18-yard box than you. Because that goes back to that game I told you, that cup final. Cash scored from the halfway line. I was injured. Shock. My left back came in and said, "Just go back there. I'll look after you." Okay, so I went to go play left back. I had my shin pads were around my ankles. I was all done. Went in, 2-footed tackle, boom, just on the halfway line. The ball popped up. Their main goalkeeper was out. The new goalkeeper was in. He was just coming out of the 6-yard box. I smashed it right into the far top corner from the halfway line. Shouts of Pele from the crowd, and then I stumbled back to the little part of the left back and I couldn't walk. Oh yeah, Stuart Pearce had a hell of a strike. I mean, there's been players in time, but here's the difference. Stuart Pearce had a hard strike compared to other people that had hard strikes. I mean, there's some people that could, like, all pro footballers. I mean, I can hit a ball and it'll knock you out, and I'm nowhere near at the standard I used to be. Oh, might of pros. Oh, okay. Funny story. I don't know if any of you ever played in the pouring rain. One of the greatest fun things to do ever was when it's freezing cold and it's pouring with rain and you're doing one of these with your shirt, right? And you don't want your shirt to touch you because it's freezing, and you've got a Mitre Pro football and you blast that Mitre Pro football at someone's chest on the other team, and it absolutely stings, and they're done for like 5 minutes. They can't. It's brilliant fun because you know they're going to do it to you. Yeah. Matter of fact, Cash, talking about great games, when was the last time you saw a great match? Oh, honestly, I've mentioned this a couple of times on a couple of my reviews. I can't tell you. Premier League games are not good to watch. I don't enjoy them. I don't know about you. I don't look at the game and go, "Oh, this is an entertaining game of football." It's just not. I'm a similar vintage. A lady never reveals her age. Yeah, but you're younger than me, put it that way. Yeah, there isn't very many good football games on anymore. Like, genuinely isn't very good football games. You're looking at what's going on, and you're looking at the quality of games. Like Manchester United, Man City. I didn't watch that one. I wish I had. Maybe that would have been an interesting game to watch. but you always knew the outcome. It wasn't in jeopardy of you thinking, oh. And that's kind of why I like the group stages of the Champions League and not this new rubbish format that they've got. Because the group stages, it's made for some interesting couple of games here and there. You always knew out of the 4, these 2 were going to get battered, but these 2 were the good games. You'd always get some interesting games there if the teams went out and went for each other because of the away goal rule. As soon as they got rid of that away goal rule, it completely and utterly changed that, and that just absolutely devastated and flipped everything on its head of what they were trying to do. New buzzword for a match is boring. It's a chess match. No, it's boring. It's not a chess match. There's no outthinking going on. There isn't people, moving the players around dynamically from the sideline and putting them 5 yards further forward to deliver the ball to whip it in behind. No, it's not. That's rubbish. That's not happening. They're too scared to lose the ball. It's got nothing to do with their outthinking or outplaying their opponent. No, they're playing for stats and statistics. Let me tell you a story about that in a second. Do you have a team or like your age? Oh, no, we don't talk about teams. Like the minute you say that you support a team or you like this team or you like that team, everyone automatically thinks you're biased. Don't get involved. That's why I don't like players, shirts. Mind you, I did like Darwin Núñez because everyone hated on him. I do like players everyone hates on, except for James Maddison. I hate him. You can't do that. You've got to be impartial. You have to have a steady opinion all of the time. You can't flex and wane because it's this team you don't like or that team you do like. You have to be even keeled. You always have to be. Like you just can't get involved in the fan nonsense and any of that sort of stuff. You just can't. Oh, right. Classic example of why teams are bad. Joel Matip, right? Played for Liverpool. Someone showed me a clip and they said this is the reason why he dribbles. Because he had these little mazy dribbles coming out for a couple of seasons, right? It came from nowhere, right? It didn't. Virgil van Dijk gave him his FIFA video game numbers and they were talking about it. And the one that was the lowest was dribbling. And everyone gave him a hard time about it. Lo and behold, next season, what's Joel Matip doing with the ball all the time he gets it? He's dribbling out of the back. That wasn't in his locker the year before. But I'll tell you what was, his FIFA number. So if you don't think these players actually actively rely and look at these video games and go, oh, I want that number to come up, and they play on that in the game, they do. Happened with Joel Matip. He started dribbling the ball out of the back from absolutely nowhere. Go back and look, and you'll see a video. I'm not sure if it's from like the official Liverpool channel or I can't remember where this guy showed me this video from. But that's exactly what ended up happening. Joel Matip adapted his game to it to get up his stats in the FIFA video game. Funny player that I coach I used to work with. All time had the all time. I think he's still got it. The all time worst stats of any player ever to be in the FIFA video game. Yeah, kind of funny. He was an international player too, as well. Don't know if you can find out who that is. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That, but I'm going to give it about another 10 minutes or so, and then I'm going to get into my Tiger Woods story, and that's what we're going to wrap up with. So when you know the end of the Tiger Woods story comes up, that's where we're going to call the stream for the evening. But I did hear rumours of old... God, there's so many rumours in football. Like Trent wants to come back to Liverpool because he doesn't like Real Madrid. And I'm like, really? He doesn't like hard work? And he wanted an easy life and he's not getting one. And he thought it was going to be a walk in the park. Is that what's going on? When people think the grass is greener on the other side, and it quite often isn't. It happens a lot in life, not just in football. What are you on about? Home net? No. Listen. I'm too old. I'm too long in the tooth. You're not going to catch out an old wise fox, young man. You're not going to catch out an old wise fox. As I said, I did like... see, I say things as well that will lead you down the garden path as well. So I'll say things like, I like Darwin Núñez, and everyone will go, oh, yeah. The reason why I like to play... I focus on players like that, though, and Nicholas Jackson, is because I see them, and I can see there's a player in there, and I know if I was coaching that player, I'd get him to score 25 goals a season. That's some of the reasons why I look at those players and these teams. I go, I can fix him. I can make him better, you know. When it comes to international football, is there a way to make it better? Oh, international football. You reminded me. Thank you. I want to talk about that just right after. Teams are suffering because amount of players are getting. Okay. International football is totally different. A lot of the reason why international football is difficult is it's traveling, it's the preparation, it's the change. There's so many things. My country, what's this? Jewish Cash might even be as old as, yeah, I'll be older than your country. Oh, I was going to talk about, yeah, I'll have the stream go on because I remember two stories I wanted to talk about. First off, the internationals, they're changing the international break. So we're not going to have 3 weeks of the Premier League, 2 weeks of an international break, 2 weeks of the Premier League, and then 2 weeks of an international break. We're just going to have one break at the start of the season. So it's going to start, and then there's going to be one break, which I think is going to be excellent. So that's a great change from FIFA. I like Nunes. I think he was around. Yeah. I'd be happy for him if I was. Yeah. Nunes. That's what Nunes wasn't under pressure. Right? This is the classic example of how media companies in the UK destroy a football player. Every single outlet in the UK talked negatively of Darwin Nunes. Every single one of them. They ruined him. It's not the first player they've done it to. They've done it to loads of Man United players. I'll tell you that now. Loads and loads and loads. 5 week international. Be brilliant. 5 week international break. We don't have to have this start, stop. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, we'll have it. We'll take the 5 week international break. I honestly think Jadon Sancho to United, they ruined him. There's loads and loads and loads of stuff that the media get a young player that can be successful and then they just destroy him. Absolutely destroy him. And Nunes to me is one of those. Nicholas Jackson is another one. They destroyed Nicholas Jackson. There's lots. It's like Nunes was still a young kiddie. He still had a couple of, give him another year or two and he would have been absolutely great at Liverpool. And I think Mo Salah said something about him because there was a couple of games I was watching Darwin Nunes and Mo Salah, and they started to link up. You could see Mo Salah was doing spin runs in behind, and Nunes was just putting the ball over, knowing Mo Salah's there, and you could see that link up play happening. And Mo Salah was starting to trust him because for the first sort of 6 months, Salah didn't trust him. Nunes' touch wasn't good enough. It was bouncing off him. His positional play was wrong. His runs were wrong. Every run that Salah made, Darwin Nunes made the same run, and they were in each other's way. You could see it. And then you could see that they started to build something. Nunes signed, played at United. Sky Sports would be... Oh, yeah. See, that's the other problem. I don't think that's true. I think Sky Sports is one of the direct reasons why they're so mean on Manchester United. I think that they are... Think of it this way, right? You played in the best team ever at Manchester United's history, and now you're talking about Manchester United. Your ego is so big because we won the treble. We're the best team ever in the Premier League era. Not in football, maybe in the Premier League era, but all right. And they won't let anyone else at Manchester United succeed. They run them down so much because of their legacy will get tarnished. If a better Manchester United team comes up now than when Roy Keane and Gary Neville and David Beckham were playing and Ryan Giggs, they won't be talking about them ever again. Look at this new Manchester United team. They've dominated for 10 years. They would beat the old people. The old ones are rubbish. They won't let it happen. Ever. Their egos are in the way. I just feel that he was always playing with a weight around his neck. I believe he's playing with a weight around his neck at Anfield, but I don't think he was straight away. I think that weight grew over time. I think it was put there over the first year and a half or so. Rashford is getting outplayed by Lopez and Barcelona, and everyone is quiet about it. Yeah. Because it's not in England. They don't think anything exists outside of England. That's where good players come in from overseas and they're completely oblivious. Like Gyökeres, played at Coventry City, loads of places. They've got no idea. Unless they were in the Premier League. It's not only that. It's not that they've got no idea. It's they get a script from their producers. And because their producers don't watch football overseas, they can't write it in the script for them. Because none of the thoughts on Sky Sports are Gary Neville's. None of the sports, the thoughts on there are Jamie Carragher's. That's all scripted from an earpiece. They've rehearsed that 3 or 4 times before they go live. Well, they've been working on that for like 6 hours beforehand. They don't just turn on a web camera and start talking. They don't just turn on the TV cameras and start talking. That's all scripted, all of it. All of their opinions, all of their analysis, every single thing is scripted. They don't do any of it. So we're right at that time. We're about 10 minutes to go to the end. Cash is going to tell his Tiger Woods story. Right, here we go. So this is a bit of a long story. Is John still here? He'll know some of what I'm going to say. So can't give you all of the details but I'm going to give you enough. So Uncle Tiger was the godfather of two of our kids. Okay. Here's a button. I know it's here. I can't find it. There it is. Still here, buddy. Yes. Okay. Bear in mind, I won't repeat that story ever again. Yeah. I'm not going to repeat that story ever again. So, and even if you ask about it, I'm just going to say, no, never happened. Well, I won't say that 'cause I don't lie. So